Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Rainer, and today it's Friday night FNM, and today it's Historic Artisan. So we just recently had Kaladesh Remastered, and I figured, you know what, let's try checking out some of the cards that Kaladesh Remastered added, and it took quite a while. I had a hard time coming up with several teams around it. Eventually I settled into something simple. Kaladesh Remastered gave us quite a few interesting constructs. Basically, Chief of the Foundry, aka uncommon Steel Overseer. In fact, it's a very cheap version of that. And basically, cheap, not rare tempered steels, which is kind of fine, I guess. Also gave us Foundry Inspector, a way to make them cheaper. And from Jumpstart, we also have Herald's Horn, another way to make it cheaper and to draw up some cards. And I figured with that, we're just gonna fill out the deck with as many constructs as we can. So, I chose Rune Servitor over Eager Construct because I do feel like I need to draw cards more, and I'd rather if it's going to die, I'd rather our opponent take the effort to kill this one, so that even if they get the card too, rather than just me giving them the free scry off it otherwise. That said, I am willing to test out the Eager Construct instead. Otherwise, everything's mostly a 3-drop. Shambling Suits, a 3-drop from Eldraine. Workshop Assistant from Kaladesh Remastered. Corridor Monitor, also from Eldraine. We're adding a few copies of Metallic Rebuke. It's basically a very cheap counter, with something we can take advantage of. We probably should have enough constructs, and we can use Herald's Horn and, in a sense, Aether Spellbomb as a mana rock in that sense. On our top end, we have a few copies of Gear Seeker Serpent, and I'm testing out the Barricade Breakers at cheap improvise. Otherwise, I might just add another Serpent, or I might fill out one of these more. 2 copies of Distant Melody. This one's one from one of the Historic Anthologies, basically a way to round up the numbers. Otherwise, 2 copies of Buried Ruin, also from Jumpstart. The Lonely Sandbars from a Historic Anthology. Everything else is just an island for now. We're gonna test this out, see how this goes. Let's hope we don't get too... At least we get to try things out. And it's relatively simple in terms of the mana cost. I don't have to worry too much. I could also start loading up on more... There are other options I figured I wanted to try out, but I decided not to try it immediately, like Skilled Animator. It's basically a 3 mana 1/3 that turns an artifact into a base power toughness 5/5. I'm not exactly running many non-artifacts, so I didn't opt for that one. Okay, this one's a bit of a... I'm acknowledging that we're gonna have many slow starts here because I don't have that many 2-drops. I might end up cutting some of these expensive ones in favor of that. Let's hope this deck is not too fast. Otherwise, that's when I'm shove all 4 copies of Eager Construct as well. Basically, give us a 2/2 on the bottom. Okay, this one might be fast. Hellhound. Okay, we can kind of buy some time. Looks like this might be some sort of landfall deck. So let's take the hit. If nothing else, I'm willing to just drop the Herald's Horn. Okay, nothing else then. So we will drop Herald's Horn. Naming Construct. So basically, this is a big mana rock for us. Opponent has Rhythm of the Wild. Well, we're probably gonna be aiming to counter the other stuff. We can't count. Yeah, we'll reveal that. So draw land. That's good. So what's our play right now? We'll play the Workshop Assistant and the Corridor Monitor. Yeah, sure. What? Then we'll pass. We have the option to cycle, or you even have a cheap counter. Well, we're not countering creatures, but any more things to this one. So we're going to have to let that go. But we do have a spell bomb that we can drop investing stuff. I might just cycle the sandbar for now. Kinda needs bigger threats at this point. Okay, done. Sure. So we get the land. No, I'm tempted to just bounce this just so we can punch through. And let's see. It enters the battlefield, so if I want to prevent some... We're going to hold a bit. We have an option to just bounce this guy if our opponent's about to drop something relatively big and we don't want it to get a counter. It's a shame that it looks like an all-creature deck, though. At least we can kind of shore up our defenses. Risen Reef, we kind of don't want that to get a counter. And we can punch through a 2-2. We can punch through a 2-2 more easily than with our board state right now. Okay. Ooh, nice. Foundry Inspector. Yet another body and yet another land. So, Metallic Rebukes. Yeah, cast it like this. Gives us the option to... give us the option to buy back the... Buy back one of the spell bombs. And looks like we're doing quite well. In fact, it's well enough I should probably put up the deck list. We are taking advantage of our opponent's slightly slower start. And we are in trouble in the sense we're not countering creatures. Okay, looks like an it's elemental tribal. Okay. Maybe should have held this one back. Trailblazer again. It's actually fine in the sense that, okay, these are gonna get big. Let's see, does our opponent hit the land? Does not hit the land in all these drops. Okay, there's the land. In fact, it's a double land drop. I'll need to decide how much damage I can take, because this is like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am willing to just I am willing to just chump block probably one of these well, he can attack with that, so pass. This now. Let's buy back the Foundry Inspector since that's cheap. So get a Rune Servitor off the top. And another Chief of the Foundry. Okay. Only 4 mana this time, but... Oh wait. Foundry Inspector. Rune Servitor. Chief of the Foundry. And now we should have enough. And now we should have enough bodies. There we go. Yeah, between Herald's Horn and Foundry Inspector, we have enough ways to make stuff cheap. I kind of want to add more 2-drops at this point, but we'll keep playing this out. We do have Corridor Monitor as a 2-drop. Can't play it for free. We still need blue mana, but that one's fine. Ooh, nice. Spiteful. Okay, so that was one quick win. We'll play a few games here. I'm pretty sure there are things I could change here. This is not a perfect deck list. Like, I had the Metallic Rebuke that was literally stranded there. Now, when our opponent dropped the Rhythm of the Wild, we went shields down for it. We were kind of shields down the whole way through anyway. So, turn 1, we probably cycle. I definitely want to cycle the Sandbar. I'll play the Servitor turn 2. Aether Spell Bombs are pretty good here. I kind of wish I had more. Very Miscreant. So this is the flyer version, which we have very little defense. We're literally just punching through. I am going to play the Aether Spell Bomb now, though I probably should play the creature. reasoning behind this is if our opponent's playing Curious Obsession or Curiosity, I have... Oh, blue-black. This might be just straight-up rogues, which is a problem. And actually, I just put one card in the yard, so that might also be a problem. Oh, well. Now, let's see if our opponent's familiar with the timing of cards. Casting the Rune Servitor. Let's see if they... So we'll see what they do. Okay, nothing. I was expecting Luna's Blackguard. Okay, I guess we can rebuke that. So next turn, if I can... I definitely want to play Foundry Inspector. Yeah, Metallic Rebuke gives me makes it very cheap. And it locked out our opponent's play. Looks like you're stuck on mana, so... Yeah. Okay, Foundry Inspector. Next turn, Foundry Inspector into Foundry Inspector into a Chief of the... Well, they all have Foundry in the name. It should be... That should be the clear setup. Opponent might kill the Foundry Inspector. Well, not with Drown in the Lock, but there are ways to kill this. So I definitely want to play these out first so that I can get the cheapo train. Herald of the Horn is very good for this one, especially if you can get like what, a little, just close to 20 cards that have the same thief. Sorry, Thought Thief. Okay, opponent's gonna go for the Uber Mill plan. We might. Opponent kind of sees where they're up to. Oh wow, hold on. Foundry Inspector. Foundry Inspector. Chief of the Foundry. Chief of the Foundry. Where's your extinction event now? Well, they can just snipe one of the chiefs of the Foundry, but I think our opponent... Wow, that was a very explosive hand. Okay, 10 life. And here's the nice thing. No our opponent's limited to uncommons here, so Thieves Guild Enforcer is not here. Extinctions... Blood Chief's Thirst, sure, draws cards. Well, that might help our opponent. Opponent really wants to take these out. Kind of Drawn in the Lock, sure, takes one out, that's fine. We get the card, okay, it's an island, but it does give me some time to bounce one of these things. Opponent, not gonna attack. We do have another Metallic Rebuke. Opponent forced to block. So we're basically holding back Metallic Rebuke and giving ourselves the option to dig up a Buried Ruin. That said, our opponent needs to wipe our board. Down to 2 life. Taking out Chief of the Foundry by itself is not going to do it. Down in the Lock. Okay, sure. So if our opponent's holding up for another sort of Thought Thief, we have the Metallic Rebuke for that. There we go. Sometimes you get that explosive chain hand. In fact, I'm concerned that this might end up showing in actual Historic. We don't exactly have Storm, but this could be just as busted as Burning Tree Shaman. I'm gonna try out a few more games. Let's see if we can keep testing this out. But yeah, it turns out there is a good combination of cost reduction, power increase. This hand has none of it, so I am inclined to just... Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3. We can get this down to a 4. And I kind of want to mulligan this. Okay, this one's better. I'm gonna... Ooh, wow. I'm gonna bin the Workshop Assistant. So I want to lead off on Lonely Sandbar. I'm definitely gonna lead off on Lonely. So turn 2 Aether Spellbomb, give us an option to fend. Also gives us an option to cycle the sandbar if we don't need to cast any against anything. Wow, this might be super control. We'll see. If the Foundry Spectre probably might not hit. But we do have a Buried Ruin to get it back. Oh no! Could just be removal based, so we're gonna see a ton of removal at this point. Like Moment of Craving. Okay, classic. So turn 4, Buried Ruin. Okay. So this is 6 mana. I'm gonna drop this one to make it 5. And then give us an option to cycle this one. I probably should have just played this straight as a land, but that's fine. Opponent hits 5 mana. Impale, destroy target creature. Okay, this one's very weird. It looks like it's just removal heavy. Yeah, just buying a bit of time. Probably should not have cycled that land. Like, sure, I can just drop Shambling Suits just to get closer, but we kind of need 3 artifacts and 4 lands right now, unless I can get a 5th. If I can get a 5th land, I'm just going to drop Gear Seeker Serpent right now. Well, we got Chief of the Foundry. Let's play the Chief. Might elicit removal. In fact, our opponent's running the most inefficient ones. I have no idea what our opponent's deck is right now. Like, okay, I clearly have no idea what our opponent's deck does. It looks like it's a ton of removal, but it's super weird. And I'll leave it at that, I guess. Also, I think our opponent tapped wrong also. That might have been the Shame Conceit as well. So we're gonna keep at this. Haven't lost yet, though. I'll be honest. That last game was a bit sketchy. The first game was kind of close because we did have a very slow start. We just got lucky. Our opponent kind of fizzled. So okay, Rune Servitor. Rune Servitor is a start. It's not the best one. I'm gonna gamble here. Might be a nice time to give back. Okay, I'm starting to regret this. I'm actually running like 22 lands here because of all the cost reduction, but I think that might be a mistake. I'm gonna run this one out. Let's see if our next turn I might actually just play. Oh, so it's mill again. Okay, lands, that's fine. Hunting Night Ponder, so we end up trading. Zula or Duelist. No, you don't trade. I just use the creature. But let's get all these cards out as soon as possible. Okay, another Chief of the Foundry. I guess. Let's play one Chief. We can afford it. Yeah, this is kind of a deck to beat at this point. We will just have to take it. We lost the Metallic Rebuke, but at this point, it's all about us racing our opponent. So we got a Workshop Assistant, missing. We'll play the Workshop Assistant. I can give us something that we can afford to swing with. Or basically, let's try to bait out as many Drown in the Locks as we can. I don't know if I don't think our opponent's willing to let that. Yeah, bait out as many counter spells. That's how it goes. But now we are in real trouble. Yeah, locking lands is not great. I am willing to trade though. Yeah, Zulaport Duel is very good. Rogues was a pretty good deck. I did it in Block Constructed. Another Murkrow Wind Robber. Wow. Yeah, the lack of flying is an issue. The lack of lands is also an issue. Yeah, I'm gonna concede at this point. Our opponent had the full stack. Also, so basically, if we can't get control early, like if we let our opponent get control like this, that's an issue. Unfortunately, constructs are not very good at defending the air. Like if we do a quick search here, let's just search for constructs. This is what we get. They're all ground based. And I kind of want one for block, but a steer glider can't block, so that's kind of meaningless. That's the sad truth. I guess there are other value cards we could probably run, but we're basically trying to smash quickly. If rogues is gonna be that kind of strategy, we probably want to keep more reactive hands. Like the Metallic Rebuke is going to be very important. The Aether Spellbomb is going to be very important. So I'm willing to keep this one because we do get Aether Spell. We do get the Aether Spellbomb. When it runs, could be another rogues deck. So I'm willing to, so far, I don't know the damage output. Okay, the damage output is not so high. I'm willing to run Herald's Horn first. And I'm probably going to eat my own words as a result. Because I could just play the Shambling Suit right now. But I'm going to... basically see if we can get away with card draw. My concern is something like Heraldic Banner, which we can't bounce, but we can end up just nuking one of the tokens instead. And the Forbidden Friendship. So this is super go wide. So I'm gonna expect a big spell soon. I need to hold up Aether Spellbomb and drop a creature. Stage. Cavalcade. Nope, it's a land, but that's actually fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna cut it close. I'd be forced to bounce one of the tokens, and I can just... yeah, just minimize the damage. Yeah, but this is again super aggro. The horn might have been a mistake, taking this much damage too early, so we are pretty much dead next turn. And Stewart could have gone to our face actually. Yeah, take that action, but we are officially out. Yeah, we needed to counter this one. Like... this is all I got. So, basically, our problem are decks that are even more aggressive. I probably would cut the Barricade Breaker. Gear Seeker Serpent is fine as it is. So what we probably want to add more bounce. So we're gonna make that. Now it's a very good. Now that we've actually lost a few games, it's actually a very good time to make changes. So this one's a bit too much. Triple copies. Maybe we don't need 4 workshop assistants, so cut 2 of that. I'm okay with these ones being 3s, this one being 4. So need more bounce. We already have Aether Spell Bomb as our bounce / card draw. So we're going to add. Kind of want into the royal because we need to bounce we need to bounce permanents. Well, blink of an eye is wait. I have into the royal. It looks nicer. Yeah, into the royal. And another thing we could actually do is actually cut out the add Jawari Disruption as instead of Lonely Sandbar. So we're gonna go with that one. Let's make that change. Let's see if I can remember how to spell Jawari. Yuck, we're not keeping that. We are gonna keep this one though, so one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, let's cut the Gear Seeker Serpent for now. We're a long ways off. Okay, so Spellbomb turn 1. At least I don't. So let's see what else. So what did I add it? So I cut 1 workshop as. Oh wow. So 1 workshop assistant. Barricade Breakers now, 2 copies of Into the World. Opponent's Sultai Adventures, which, yeah, looks reasonable. We did not draw another land, which is a problem. Okay, now we drew the other land. So we're gonna be quite behind at this point, like, if one of these was just found, like I could play Herald's Horn next. Okay, I'm actually gonna trade. I'm gonna see if our opponent's going to trade. Nope, they need the mana, so I need the mana too. So we're gonna drop Herald's Horn. When the critical push, so you go draw a card, okay. Yeah, I needed that land earlier. But now we have, well, we can do double check. So it goes for another mana. I can probably just play, wow, opponent's super ramping up. And ramping up even more. So, got the lands we need now. So I'm probably gonna buy time and just play Chief and Chief. Next turn I can play Corridor Monitor, Distant Melody, or I could just play Chief. Well, I can't play Distant Melody quite yet. We're hoping the Herald's Horn catches us up. Opponent. Cycling. Okay, that's a way to get a land and draw a card. So our opponent's refilling their hand now. We just need to punch. We just need to start punching through. Okay, done. So that's not the land we're looking for. We do kind of... I'm tempted to kind of try to hold up for it. But the least we can do is mess up our opponent's math. So, but our opponent's staring at 9 mana right now. Yeah, the least I can do is just mess up his math a bit. So there's a grow from the ashes. So getting 2 more lands will get 2 more cards. Opponent now has 6 mana. Seven mana. I want him to play the Beanstalk Giant. In Nova Horror, it's 6. I'll let it resolve. It'll bounce a Chief, that's fine. I'll discard the Disruption. Yes, take action. We'll keep the Workshop Assistant. And a Rune Servitor. So, Chief of the Foundry. Workshop Assistant. Rune Servitor. We're gonna attack with everything. Opponent will probably double block. Opponent has all the mana and all the cards, but I'm thankful that I'm not facing down against an Ugin. I'm actually inclined to just take out the Tatyova because that's the life and card advantage. I'm not probably should be scared of the 4/4 now, but we do have Distant Melodies an option. I'm willing to throw away the Workshop Assistant just to get the Chief back. So bounces Chief of the Foundry. Let's throw away the Distant Melody. Big Dinrova Horrors. So that's actually a very good way to disassemble us. Back over. Very nice. We have no way of getting extra damage through. Okay, another Rune Servitor off the top. And another island. Opponent is gonna have to block something. Okay, let's block both. I want to... Oh, I have to target anyway, so... We'll target... Chief of the Foundry. Get ourselves another Herald's Horn. We do have more, but it's not. This is not an easy matchup. Our opponent has a full field. And yeah, if the top card in the next one breaks, it's wow, it's just literally back for more. So snipes all our chiefs. We'll take this. Wait, no. Okay, Shambling Suit's okay. Wow, it's literally... And that's like, what, 3 copies of back for more? So, yeah, all that ramp paid off our opponent. So, let's not brick. Oh, we bricked. So... Yeah, it's kind of good game from here. We bricked on that one. Our opponent actually managed to keep up. The Jawari Disruption, unfortunately, was quite late. I could have just cast it, I guess, just to... But it would have been meaningless. It was a good extra option as a land, though. I'm willing to accept that. Yeah, basically just too much ramp. There are cards that interact with like ETB effects, but unfortunately they're all rare, so we're not. So actually, it's a good time to play all those ETB effects. We're basically trying to be explosive, but it's really dependent on our opening hand. But we did have a bit of fun at the early go. So yeah, I'm gonna keep. I'm willing to keep this one. At least we get a Rune Servitor. We can chuck the draw. We can kind of ping the draw card. This actually does give us an argument for Eager Construct, because that is a possible change, because at least we're not filling up our opponent's hand. Raging Goblin with haste, so this could be another Cavalcade deck. As this now, I will hold up the disruption. I will hold up disruption for one turn. Nest Robber. Wait, this is okay. This is literally the beginner's deck. You know what? As much I know we probably want to counter something, but I do have the Foundry Inspector next turn. I want to be able to cast that. If our opponent drops something big, I can just crack the Spell Bomb. Manax, okay. By a turn. Ooh, okay, interesting. So Herald's Horn. Wait. Yeah, we'll do Herald's Horn first, because this will reduce the cost of our Foundry Inspector, which will reduce the cost of our Chief of the Foundry. It will also reduce the cost of our Rune Servitor, so we get the sequence there. And if I get one more land, I can reduce it even more. And I don't have to be afraid of Embercleave. I just have to be afraid of another decent go wide combat effect. Okay, so not the card I want, but we're fine with that. So Foundry Inspector, Chief of the Foundry, Rune Servitor. And next turn we could just next turn I can cast Chief of the Foundry and drop a Gear Seeker Serpent if our opponent doesn't snipe this. If our opponent snipes one of the other artifacts, I will need another land. Opponent really wants to snipe Foundry Inspector. If our opponent tooled this up, I'm expecting them to have some sort of removal. Claim the Firstborn. Into another, claim the Firstborn. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so super aggro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow. Broken by claim the Firstborn. Ay. That was annoying. But then again, I've always hated claim the Firstborn again. I've always hated claim the Firstborn to begin with. Okay, let's do one more round. So it's a bit iffy. Got a Metallic Rebuke. Yeah, I'll keep this, but it probably won't win. Okay, now we really need to hit the third land soon. We can see a lot of aggro, but yeah, our opponent having all the right cards at the right time, that's very kind of typical. So now we have to rush against our opponent's card draw. He has much health. So we probably want to play Foundry Inspector next turn to facilitate these drops. Okay, so it's just trying to push this one out. Going for the quick one. So the nice thing is that these don't have we did beef up our bounce, we just kind of need to draw into it now. Probable Alliance. Okay, so our opponent's going to start having chunk blocker tokens. Nice thing is if our opponent tries to counter this, we can counter back and still play Chief of the Foundry. So since we know we're going to rush our opponent at this point, we probably want to counter any card draw spells. Opponent's passing all the way through. Okay, reveal. Into another reveal. Well, this is the one I want to cast first because that might seal it. Let's hit the Thunder Raptor. We can rebuke it. Let's see if our opponent has another one. Nope, doesn't. Concedes there. Okay, there we go. So we did manage to raise a card draw deck. And there we go. So we actually had an interesting idea. I guess if we were to run this without the Artisan restriction, we'd be looking at cards like Emery to buy stuff back. We'd be looking at... I also consider Diligent Excavator, but I figure just go wide with a lot of artifacts is a good one for now. Steel Overseer would definitely make an appearance. Yeah, and that would be a good 2-drop as well. And a lot of the lands would also make an appearance as well. But otherwise, you know what? This is a reasonable one to go for. That's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great weekend, everyone.